Whitebird, Chapter 5. You see, Rose? Papa frowned intensely, ignoring his dinner. This is what I've been saying since November. We're not safe here anymore. We should leave France. Now. I slouched in my chair, deeply regretting telling my parents what happened with Vincent at school. I used my fork to hide some of the spinach under my dinner roll. I wished I could dig a hole and bury the entire awful day as easily. Max, you're overreacting, said Maman. She took a bite of her chicken and a sip of her wine. It was just a stupid boy. We're safe here in the free zone. I sat between them, unsure of which side I agreed with more. It seemed to me they were both right. Vincent was a stupid, if unreasonably handsome, boy. It was true. But were we safe here? I hoped so. Yet I was less sure than ever before. There is no free zone anymore, Rose, insisted Papa. We should disappear, like Rabbi Bernstein did. Disappear? I thought with alarm. For some reason, I pictured Mademoiselle Petitjean erasing the day's lesson from the blackboard. In a matter of moments, with a few bold strokes, all those words and numbers would be wiped away. Would we be like that? Gone without a trace? With her glasses on, Maman looked smart and serious, as always, but her eyes told another story, as did her voice, which wavered as the subject of Rabbi Bernstein's mysterious disappearance came up. For years, the rabbi had been an important fixture in our community. We didn't know him well, as we weren't members of his congregation, but we often saw his wife at the market, and he and Papa were friendly. And then one day, we heard a rumour that the Bernsteins all left town in the middle of the night with no explanation or forwarding address. How can you even suggest that? Asked Maman. Leave? Without saying goodbye to our friends? What about our house, our furniture? Our furniture? Papa's eyes flashed with annoyance. Rose, Jews are being rounded up in Marseille. How can you worry about furniture? Maman shook her head emphatically. She spoke to Papa like she spoke to me when I made a careless error on a math test or tried to go out to play with my friends before practicing for piano. Foreign Jews, Max, she said slowly, as if to clear up his apparent confusion, and religious Jews. That's not us. We don't even go to temple. Rose, are you forgetting that you were born in Antwerp and I'm from Brussels? I was born here, I offered. Both of them ignored me. My mother's brow furrowed deeply. I am a French citizen. So are you, she practically yelled, startling me. It wasn't like Maman to raise her voice. We have the papers to prove it, she continued. And I've lived here for practically my entire life, Max. I was a little girl when my parents moved here. France is my home. There was a dreadful silence. Then Papa spoke quietly. It was Simone's home too, he said. My mother's face softened, for she knew what he meant. I did too. We'd heard nothing from Aunt Simone and her family since the Villeheur roundup. I still held out hope that they were okay. There were lots of reasons people might be too busy to write, or letters might be intercepted in the occupied zone. But their silence was troubling, at the very least. Maman reached out and took Papa's hand in hers. Max, darling, if we have to leave, we'll leave, I promise, she said. But let's just wait it out for a little while longer. Things can't go on like this forever. I nodded. This is what I wanted to believe. Maman is right, Papa, I added. Everything will be fine. You'll see. I hope so, Sarah, Papa replied. His voice was so quiet it sounded like he was praying. That was something I'd never heard him do. My father was a man of science, not religion. I took a bite of my spinach, glad Maman had won the argument. I swallowed bite after bite, wishing I'd never mentioned Vincent in the first place. Spinach was not my favourite vegetable, but according to Maman, it was good for me and would make me stronger. I was willing to do whatever it took to get stronger, so I could get through this difficult time. I did not want to leave France, bad as things were. I added my own silent prayer to Papa's. Please make my life return to normal soon. All our lives, I added quickly. I missed my playful, joyful parents. Maman's voice snapped me back to attention. In the meantime, Sarah, she ordered, you stay away from that Vincent boy, okay? Of course, Maman. After dinner, I cleared the dishes, finished my homework, and dutifully practiced a couple of piano pieces. When I was finally done with my chores, I headed for my room and the sanctuary of my sketchbook. I was lost in that world when I heard a faint knock at my bedroom door. Hello, I called in response. The door opened and my father peered in. Sarah, it's late, he said. You should be asleep by now. I know, I told him without looking up. I was just finishing a drawing I started in school today. Mademoiselle Petitjean said I'm a good artist, I added proudly. That doesn't surprise me in the least. You have a gift, Sarah, but now it's time for bed. I hesitated. I wanted to tell him that I needed to keep drawing, at least for a little while, especially after what Vincent had said. I needed to take what he'd made dirty and make it special and clean and mine again. Usually the simple act of drawing carried me far away from my day-to-day worries, but I started noticing that my fears and concerns did not always go away. They had begun patiently waiting for my pencil to stop moving so they could swoop back in. Good night, Sarah, he said, turning to leave. Wait, Papa? I called out. Yes? The question hadn't even quite formed in my mind before the words came tumbling out of my mouth. Why do they hate us, Papa? Why do people hate Jewish people? Not all people, Sarah, Papa corrected me. You must never think it's all people, only some people. Bad people? I whispered, clutching my scuffed puppy Bridget to my chest. Papa sighed. He came to my bed and sat down. I try not to think of it in terms of good and bad, he said. I prefer to think in terms of light and dark. I believe that all people have a light that shines inside them. A light? I asked. Papa nodded earnestly. Maman had taken me to see Papa give a presentation once at a medical college nearby. I remembered how impressed I was by his passion for his work as a surgeon. He was fascinated with all that medical interventions could do, but it was clear what attracted him to his field was something that went even deeper. It was about saving people's lives. The tone he took in my darkened bedroom told me that he was showing something similarly important. This light allows us to see into other people's hearts, to see the beauty there, he continued, the love, the sadness, the humanity. Some people, though, have lost this light. They have darkness inside them, so that is all they see in others, darkness, no beauty, no love. He gently brushed my hair out of my face. Why do they hate us? He asked. Because they cannot see our light, nor can they extinguish it. As long as we shine our light, we win. They will never take our light away from us. Do you understand that, Sarah? Yes, Papa, he smiled. Now I have a favour to ask. What is it? I want you to keep you wearing your winter boots to school. I frowned out of confusion as much as unhappiness and hugged Brigitte even tighter. What a strange request. I couldn't help but protest. What? No, it's April already. I don't need my winter boots. My mom might have argued back logic and using reason. Papa did not. Please, little bird, for me, he said. But why? Just promise me. It was rare for Papa to ask anything of me. So even though it was a ridiculous request, I quickly caved. Oh, all right, fine, I promise. Papa seemed relieved by my answer. I said good night and snuggled down into my covers, cuddling Brigitte. I had already thought up a solution that would make everyone happy. In the morning, I would leave the house wearing my heavy winter boots to please Papa, but the second I was out of view, I would swap them for my regular shoes. The next morning, I headed out of the door with my father. My mum called after me for leaving without a hug, but we were in a hurry, so I ran back and gave her a quick bisou instead. Moi, I cried dramatically, darting off as fast as my dreaded boots would carry me. When we reached the main street, Papa said goodbye at the fountain before heading to his office. A bientôt, little bird, he said, gathering me into a quick embrace. He glanced down at my feet. And thank you for wearing your boots. Of course, I smiled. Have a nice day, Papa. I watched him as he hurried off. As soon as he turned the corner, I wiggled out of my bulky clodhoppers. From my bag, I withdrew a pair of red shoes that I practically begged Maman to buy me back when Jews were welcome in all the local stores. I slipped them onto my feet and buckled the lovely straps, ignoring a pang of guilt. Instantly, I felt like a princess. Sure, I was cold, but at least I looked fashionable. And with everything that's going on, I told myself I need a little happiness. Walking into school wearing those gorgeous red shoes made everything feel a bit better. What's more, they told the world that Sarah Bloom was a chic girl with a good head on her shoulders, striding confidently towards the future. At that moment, I very much wanted to show that side of myself to the world. And what Papa didn't know about my shoe swap wouldn't hurt him.